G'day, everybody. Welcome to Shooting the Breeze with Lady Liberty Australia. I am Lady Liberty Australia, or Kate Fantanel, coming to you live from my little studio in San Antonio, Texas, where I now live. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Today, I called my beautiful mum in Australia last night because it was Mother's Day yesterday in Australia. We are a day behind. It gets very confusing. So I'm missing my mum a lot today. And I thought, who could I have on my show that would make me feel like I've celebrated Mother's Day as much as I can here in the USA? And I'm so excited to have my special guest on the show tonight. I'll bring her into the chat straight away because I've been waiting to do this for so long. It's taken a while because of all the time zones, but now we're so close. So let me bring her in. Here we go. Forest Mummy. Happy Mother's Day, Forest Mummy.
Thanks from all the fake mothers.
I'm sure you've been getting a lot of love today because you're everyone's Forest Mummy.
That's true. That's what I always say. People ask where the name comes from, and I'm like, sorry, my camera's blurry. And I'm like, because everybody needs a mom, like now as adults. We need the like blessed mother energy kind of a thing. So
And that's what you bring to the world. I'm so grateful to know you. So we actually only met last year in person. We did a live stream the year before, I think. I've actually known you for a few years now, and you are in the beautiful state of Colorado. But there's lots going on up there. What the bloody hell is going on in Colorado? Can you please fill us in with what's going on? I've seen everything. Everyone's complaining. Gun laws, I've been following that too. But how's liberty going in Colorado?
Well, I mean, technically not great, but I think they've pushed too far, and I think they are just kind of like trying to go crazy a little bit because they know like the pendulum's coming to swing back. But our legislative session just ended on May 7th, so they can't make any more bad bills for at least another year, so that's good, or January next year. But yeah, it's been slowly like a lot of people kind of watching. A lot of people was like Colorado's lost, blah blah. But what happened is just a bunch of crazy radicals, even for like Democrats. They are radicals, even to like the moderate Democrat, right? They are who got in control and they took over the government. And so now they've just been pushing all this crazy stuff, like the gun bill that passed this year, Senate Bill 3. Who pushed it was a guy, is Tom Sullivan, who had a son get shot at the Aurora shooting out here.
Yeah, I did
Okay.
see. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm sorry that is terrible and that happened, but like you can't do that. And he got paid to do it. These people get paid to do this stuff. Every town paid him $1 million to push that bill, and it was all strategic what they did. And it's just crazy. So I don't know. We have people fighting it right away. Rocky Mountain gun owners and others like are going to file lawsuits with all this, and you're supposedly, it's driving gun shops from the state, which is unfortunate. And, but I mean, who knows what's going to happen? Cause it's just like, they keep pushing too far. And I think people there's a liberal gun owner Reddit out here in Colorado that I'm not on Reddit, but like people told me about it. And they're like, even the liberals, gun owners were like, wait a minute, this is like not constitutional. And so silver lining is they push too far and they're going to wake people up.
Yeah, some of the laws sound like what we've got in Australia. So I was so shocked to see that, like, they want to introduce mandatory training before you buy a firearm. You have to prove that you've done that adequate training, all this kind of stuff. That's what we've got, and that's what I'm still fighting back home in Western Australia. And I'm going through the courts too, because it gets to the point where you're like, we need to fight this from any front that we can. So the legal system is there, then people power, and then getting involved in politics. You seem to have done so much for liberty, including running for office. I want to talk to you about your 2023 City Council campaign. But before I do that, we've got lots of people in the chat saying g'day. Somebody here remembers you from Terminator, Mummy. I remember when you used to be that. Back in the day. We've got friends saying g'day from Australia. Tim Molesworth, g'day from the socialist hellhole of Victoria, Australia. So if you are in the chat, please comment, like, subscribe, all those wonderful things, and say Happy Mother's Day to your mums for us. So let us talk about your 2023 council campaign. So you ran for the Avada City Council, and I read through your pitch why you should be elected, and you said your biggest qualifier is that you've never worked in politics and you've never worked a government job, so you would actually represent the people. Can you tell me how that campaign went? Because it also included a doxing incident too. You've really had it thrown at you, Forrest Mummy.
No. And they just make me keep going harder. Like I just keep going harder. So yeah, we have known each other since like probably 2021 COVID. I would think so.
Through Centris, my good mate back home in WA. So Bruce, hello Bruce. If he's watching, he's a big fan of you and me too. He's beautiful.
Yeah. So yeah, 2023, I kind of started getting more involved, going to more things, meeting more people. And tell me if you can't hear me. Someone in the chat said they might not be able to hear me, but I don't know. I don't know if I can. So I ran for office. I found out that my district, so I was District 4 in Nevada, Colorado, and I found out it was up for election. That's up for every 4 years. So I was like, okay, I have no idea what I'm doing. I had started to connect with some people in the area, some like GOP people and just obviously like libertarian stuff, but not that there's many. But so I filed, I put my paperwork in and did the work I was supposed to, set up my bank account. And the day I filed it, I took a picture and I'm like, well, I'm doing it. I'm putting my money where the mouth is. I'm going to try to do this and see what happens. And then, yeah, that's what happened is the next day, literally the next day, this journal, an NBC journalist out here, he made this whole long thread about how awful of a person I am. and then he posted like the affidavit, which had my home address on it, which was technically a public document, but the way he did it was not, it was like technically doxing. So anyways, yada, yada, but it blew up in his face, made me look good. It helped fund my whole campaign because I wasn't sure how I was going to fundraise, but that like made all these people give me money because they were like, this guy sucks and you sound awesome. So that happened. And it was interesting, just kind of like, because the county, especially I'm in, and then Arvada in this county, is where this progressive slime that's kind of taken over Colorado politics is kind of where it started, and it's like really strong. And I didn't really realize that. So it was like being around these people and being like, oh my God, these are communists, like Sarah, that's right. Like they are literal communists out here. And they have all these plans and they have it all worked out what they're doing and who gets in where and whatnot. But I still got 37.5% of the vote in a two-way race. So that was cool.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thankfully I didn't win in a way, but it's been fun ever since too. So
yeah, well, thank you for putting your money where your mouth is, I suppose. There's a lot of people online who think that they're activists or helping the cause just by sitting on Twitter. That can be part of it, but you also have to actually get out in your community too. And that's one thing I've admired about you, and that's inspired me personally, is you have to get out in your community, go out and talk to people. And so many people seem to forget that that's part of the fight for advancing liberty. And you're just out there doing it every day on your own, fighting for what you believe in. So I take my hat off to you, Forrest Money. You're a bloody legend.
Yeah, thank you.
So what else has been happening in Colorado? So that was 2023. You obviously didn't get elected, but you did really well. Do you think you'll run again, or that's you dip your toe in?
Yeah, I mean, I might like end up putting my name on ballots at some point or another, or it's like we're thinking now like maybe I change to Democrat and run that way and like try to like get to the moderates. I don't like it's crazy out here in that sense, but yeah, it's really interesting because they, like I said, even the moderate Democrats, this is something else that happened this year during legislative was they went after parental rights with the transing stuff and, just choice, like people can be pro-choice about abortion, but when you force the taxpayers to pay for it, well, that's not choice anymore. Now you've taken the choice out, right? So there's that happened. They did this one bill that got amended to hell. The worst parts of it are out now, but it was when it came out, it basically said, this was the one that went pretty public towards the end of the session. It was like, it went big. It was 1312. And they were like, well, if you don't affirm your child's name as like a dad going through a divorce, then it counts against your custody and stuff. And I was like, no, you can't like get involved with that, and it was just more getting involved. It was written by childless lesbians too, which I'm just like, really? Like, it's just so bizarre. And like, they showed how they have this whole activist pipeline with these trans people though too, that's like so bizarre and so not real, not organic. These people are paid. We have found they have gotten government payments before. So it's like, that kind of made a lot of the Democrats and just any parent like, well, no, that doesn't sound really good. So silver lining again is they've kind of waken people up. And the interesting thing, this is what's been cool, is I've always been like, where the church is at, especially about the transing stuff. Like, you don't have to campaign as a church, but you should be involved in the legislative session like we all are, where we just learn about it on our own, right? And so they got involved, and it's been interesting seeing like them navigate the political arena now. But they're like doing great. They're doing great. So that's been fun.
That's good that you've got the church involved. We have political parties in Australia. The Australian Christian Party, they actually won their first ever seat in my home state of Western Australia at the election this year. I always get a bit nervous about having Christian or any kind of religion too involved in politics. I think they should have a seat at the table, but when it comes to, so a sin doesn't make it a crime is my argument, but they seem to be very, very focused on what should be the law based on a moral stance rather than reality.
Yeah, that's the problem. And we saw this group kind of get taken over by this guy from a bigger organization. And he was like this guy who said laws, like he wanted to push some actual Christian laws. Even like my family is very religious. We're like, no, you can't, you stop. You can't go that, you can't go. Once you start doing that, then you like make their point. The Marxists are like, oh yeah, see, we are getting fascist religious taking it. It's like, okay, they just said it, but that's why I said, like, it's kind of been interesting seeing them navigate through that. And one of them's reached out to me and asked me to help them. And I'm like, heck yeah, like just to get to know the right people. And so many of us are actual grassroots. Like I lose money doing this. I don't make any, I make a couple bucks on Twitter, but that's Twitter. But other than that, I have to pay $20 if I want to go downtown and park and speak. And, it's like that. So I'm like, the people like me and like that, I think are good like guides because, we don't, we're not getting any money out of it. So it's like from our heart, I guess.
Yeah. That's the other thing. We've had that in Australia too about people who are paid to attend rallies and protests. And it's always on the left. Like the right either just aren't organised enough or they don't think it should be something that they pay for. But the number of paid protesters, especially I've noticed in America, it's insane. Like that could be a full-time job for someone, but they don't even know what they're standing for. And they want to tell everyone else how to live their lives. Yeah, I've noticed that here in America a bit.
Which welcome to America.
Yeah. That's not a criticism, by the way. I'm so happy to be here in Texas. So last time I was here, I came to visit you in Colorado and we spent 4th of July together and I was all dressed up in my American designed outfit and made you get so emotional because I was so, and Mr. Liberty Axe was here too. We were so patriotic about your bloody country to the point that you're like, oh, now I'm getting emotional. And you're just, we are just so happy to be here. And I know I have to have this conversation with you because you've been very vocal about you don't just run away from a place that you love, you try and save it. Now, I haven't run away from Australia. I think about it every day. I'm missing my mum so much. I'm trying to do everything I can from a better place to help people back home. That's why I'm still doing gun rights stuff for my home state of Western Australia. So I don't want you to think I've run off to Texas and forgotten about my beautiful country.
I know. But I can understand, like, actually, like, if someone needs to flee China, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, there is a certain extent. Like, you had never lit a firework or a firecracker before. Like, you there a country where you can't light a firecracker or a firework. That's a country you should flee from, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So
they're banned. Guns mostly banned. I wouldn't be able to get a
uh,
gun in my home state anymore because of the new laws. So you can't stay there and be oppressed forever. Like our mate Lily Tang, what a bloody legend. I saw
yeah.
she was up in Colorado too, visiting.
Yeah, I cried during that too. Because
Did
I get so
you?
emotional when the people from other countries, because she's like, and she's from Colorado, so she kind of has, and her son lives out here, so, or she lived in Colorado for a while, so she kind of has a little connection here. And then she's been watching everything happen out here, and she's like, this is exactly what they were doing in China with the
Yep.
the gender stuff, and then the separating parents and children. And so it was just like, oh, so I got all emotional during that too. But and she's just a firecracker when she speaks, you know?
Yeah, she's
Crazy.
yeah, I love that. I loved her whole thing with the if what was the line from the David Hogg debate, the gun control debate? Well, if you can't promise that the government won't be tyrannical, then the gun debate is over. That yeah, she's one of my inspirations too. So many incredibly inspiring people in the liberty movement here in America. So, what is there anything else happening in Colorado that we need to know about? Because I want to come back and visit.
Well, yeah, you can come back visit anytime. But yeah, now they made that law they made was for CCWs. Now you have to go through the Department of Wildlife to do this extra class and this extra this and that. So it's crazy. But yeah, come anytime we didn't even go to Waterworld last time. Waterworld's super fun. So
No, but I did get to do the pilgrimage to Granby where
that's
Killdozer happened. That's something that all libertarians should go in their life. It's so beautiful up through the mountains there. I got a bit sick from the altitude, but
yeah.
it was worth the trip. You've had so many amazing things happen in Colorado. And you also have the Free State Colorado movement. Are you involved in that?
Well, there's a gentleman who like runs this channel, Free State Colorado, and it's not necessarily like a whole thing yet, but he's like the biggest liberty leader out here, and he's actually next week he's getting an award through the Independence Institute. So like he's getting, but yeah, and that's waking up a ton of people too on the right as well. Like we all kind of have to work together. Maybe Forest Mommy's not the most purest person in the world, but she's doing something, like we all can kind of get on board with some of this stuff, you know. So it's happening. But yeah, there's another story of a guy where I'm so surprised he didn't kill Dozer, but he made this thing out here called Tabor, which is the Taxpayers Bill of Rights, which of course the socialists and the commies have been trying to like break down forever. And it's basically said you have to vote on tax increases, and you get money back after like a cap. A certain point, everybody gets it back, which is kind of turned into a redistribution of wealth a little bit, but still, that's not good enough for the socialists. You know, they're like, no, we need to keep that as the government, right? But he like got thrown in jail afterwards. They like turned him into a felon for something like that wasn't. It was like he moved money to a nonprofit in the wrong way, which compared to what they're doing now with the nonprofits and stuff, they took properties from him. Like, and he's still an old man living out here, but I'm like, I'm surprised he didn't do something crazy, because the minute he did that, and they've been trying to get rid of it ever since. So it's crazy what some people could do, but now it feels impossible. It has felt impossible, like we will never get it back or whatever. But like communism is going to be everywhere at some point or another. You have to fight it, whether it's your city council, your state. You're gonna have to fight it at some point. So that's why like I'm not fleeing Colorado, because I'm not gonna uproot and be weaker somewhere else. We'll have to fight them as well. So
Yes. Yes, you have to be strong to fight it because it yeah.
it's
Well,
exhausting.
I've been surprised to see some of the stuff going on in Texas here in the state house. They've I think they actually got through about banning political memes, which is something that they've already done back in Australia. So, which I thought was a violation of the First Amendment. So I was surprised that there was even a debate going on in the Texas House about banning bloody memes, but that's passed. There's other things as well that have come up that I've just thought this is like being back in Australia, but it's not as bad yet. And so I want to do everything I can here to not let Texas or the United States go the way that Australia has gone, because it's just, I think Australia is at the point of it's Argentina pre Harvey MLA. That's the trajectory that Australia's economy is on. That's not just me being paranoid. That's actually what the data shows about the future of my country. With 60% of people employed by the government across the country, it's untenable. So I'll do anything I can from here to stop America becoming like Australia.
You'll probably fight in Texas more than a lot of the Californians who are moving there will, because there's so many that moved around the Austin area, right? And like
Yeah.
Austin's obviously very crazy liberal. But yeah, like you said, in the state house, I was watching, there was some weird trans stuff going on too. There's like a parental rights aspect, and
Yeah.
people down there like moved there because they think, even from Colorado, people are like, I'm going to Texas because, and then I'm like, well, guess what? The same stuff sneaking in there too, just like it did here. So, but yeah, you'll, like I said, you'll be fighting it more than they will, more than Joe Rogan will.
Yeah, I forget that I'm so close to all of that in Austin. So I'm in San Antonio, which is like an hour from Austin. There's so many people that I know that live there. So I've only traveled through. I've never actually been out in Austin or done anything. I haven't even been out in bloody San Antonio yet, Forest Mummy. I went to Post Malone the other night. And I've been to the local brewery twice, but I haven't gone downtown or seen anything because I've just been working, because I'm working for Blood of Tyrants now. Dan Taxation is Theft. That's his company. So I've been just working hard. But
Oh, is it wine? Is that a sponsor?
yes, he has a wine. He's got an energy tea called Liquid Freedom, which you can buy online at drinkbloodofTyrants.com. See, look, I'm doing my job so well for him. I'm just so happy to be here with my visa.
No, I thought they weren't letting anybody in ever, and like that's why everyone has to sneak in with the NGOs and stuff, right?
Well, I've been watching the deportation stuff too, and just like praying that. But I've done everything right. I've got all my papers.
Right.
Everything's in order. I'm here legally. So I just hope that that's enough, and I'm a law-abiding citizen now. So please let me stay.
There's no mix-up. Hopefully there was no. I mean, all the weird ones they were saying, I'm like, I think that was just a mix-up on some of them. But
yeah,
you're not an MS. I don't think you're in the MS-13 gang, but maybe you are.
I don't even know what that is. So no. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you about is Johnny Hurley. So this was part of when you ran for the council. You spoke about a bloke named Johnny Hurley, who was a local hero gunned down by Avada police after stopping the town from a mass shooting. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm real close with like his sister. Not real close, but I know his sister and the group of friends he had and stuff.
So what actually happened? I know this was a few years ago, but I think it's important because he stopped a mass shooting.
Yeah, which never happens. There's never a good guy with a gun. You know, they say there's never good guys with guns. But yeah, so a guy, this crazy dude who he was older. He was an older mass shooter, but he looked like he fit the bill, decked out in black and stuff. But he showed up into downtown Arvada. I think he was like, he wanted to shoot cops. And so what he did shoot a cop. So he shot one cop. And then Johnny Hurley was in this army surplus store that's like right across the street. He runs out. He like ducks behind this dumpster, like a brick dumpster wall. And then he shot the bad guy. Like he took the bad guy down. So he's like shot him. Well, he went over to disarm the bad guy's AR or whatever he had. Like he tried, to take the mag out and stuff. Well, then the cops show up and they don't even say like drop your weapon or anything. They just shoot Johnny from the back, in the back, like thinking he was the bad guy. But there's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they knew it was a wrongful shoot, but of course, the cops are allowed to do a wrongful shoot, basically. And there's all this other stuff though. There were cops there, like in another building, who saw it happen, so they could have like said, "Oh, that's the good guy," like they could have intervened to some extent. And they didn't. So it just was terrible what happened because he did the good thing, and they tried to like you didn't really hear about it for like 3 days that there was a good guy with a gun that got shot, and then it's like and then you find out, oh, he got shot by the cop, not the bad guy. It just kind of they slowly rolled out that information, and it was unfortunate that cop died, obviously, too. And he was like a resource officer at a junior high, so like the kids loved him, so like he was probably a nice dude. So that was really sad. And like after this whole investigation, the county DA didn't press any charges against the cop at all, and I think he's being a cop somewhere else now. And the family did sue, and when was it? It was the end of 2023 or in 2024. Their lawsuit settled, and I think the family got like 3 million or something. And they're like actually, and the group he belonged to is We Are Change, with a lot of people know who We Are Change is through other people. And so that was kind of this local We Are Change group that Johnny was a part of. So they were like they were actual showing me in the chat that the cop was a bad guy. Sorry.
Oh. The cop that got shot was a bad guy?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
anyway, some people think they're all bad guys, of course.
Yeah,
But
true.
and then the guy like who there was speculation that the cops were like child trafficking. I saw this like whole conspiracy theory. But anyways, so he was part of this group We Are Change, and they did activism years ago. Like they were anti-vaccine back in like 2010, and they were showing up at different events way back then and doing different things. So I mean, he was pretty active politically, and that group still like they still do things in the summer. They have these fun little parties, and it's super hippy dippy. It's just fun to go. Like there's poetry and stuff. It's so cute, but it's a good time. It's always a potluck, and so yeah, it's unfortunate what happened. Again, silver lining, it brought a lot of people together. It woke a lot of people up about, well, cops aren't, maybe we should get rid of qualified immunity, which one of our
Hmm.
legislatures, one of our legislatures, yeah, listen, one of our legislatures just did, he tried to pass to get rid of qualified immunity, but of course it didn't, so that one didn't go through. But it's
Mm.
like, wow. And he's like a GOP guy, and he was like been trying to get rid of it. So maybe next year once things hopefully it's the same legislature people next year, but I don't know, man. They were nuts this year. Like these women. Just like
You were down
God.
there a lot as well. Like, you often go down to watch and testify too.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Like,
hate testifying. I hate doing
mm,
it because I'm not like but I have to do it, right?
mm,
And sometimes I have good zingers and stuff to say to them. And then that's the best way to meet other people who are kind of grassroots. And that's how it is happened. Like there's just been like a whole huge growth of like, different people meeting up that way. And it's not just like organizations. Because when you go to fight the government down there, you'll notice, oh, they have all these nonprofits and NGOs who are all paid people, paid salaries to be there. And of course, they're always on the side of the government. Like, of course, they want more government and more money. And like, us, like, we're just there, like I said, paying to be there. But it's fun. And once I kind of like know the Capitol building now. And I love, like, I'll go in there in the gallery when the house is on the floor and the Speaker of the House knows who I am, and she like looks up at me. It's just
aw.
like, it's just fun that I know that some stupid girl on Twitter, which they really care what happens on Twitter. They'll call my friends sometimes and ask them their opinions, and so it's kind of fun what's built a bit.
Have you ever been asked to post something and they will pay you to say it?
No,
No.
no, no one's ever asked me that. No
No.
sponsors.
It's better to be
Like,
free and not someone's sock puppet. That's what I think
Although I do
anyway.
love a good Dr. Pepper. For a Dr. Pepper, good, I'm just kidding.
Well, I like a good Corona that's made in Mexico.
Yeah.
I was telling Forrest Mummy before the show that the ones we get down under are made in bloody China, and they taste very second rate to the good Mexican Corona. So that's the good thing about being so close to the border. And I still have to go to Mexico. I haven't been there yet either. Dying to go
Ooh.
down there.
Yeah, it's fun. I had 5 Coronas last night, actually, now that I remember.
Well, it's
I
your
was out.
birthday week. You should still be celebrating.
I did pretty. I put in a lot of time this week. I did good.
You did good.
Today I woke up and I was like, oh yeah. So I just need to like relax for a couple days. So
Well, thanks for joining me on my show. We have so many people in the chat. Everybody loves you. What is some of the, well, actually, let me ask you this question because I don't think I've ever asked you this unless it was on 4th of July and that day is a little bit blurry. What made you a libertarian, if you are a libertarian, or what made you be a liberty-minded person? Was there an event or something or a bill that you just woke up one day and were like, no, the answer is liberty? And then what made you actually get up and fight for it?
so I was kind of raised more like libertarian. I had like my parents were kind of that way, and I went off on my own really young because I was like, I don't want to listen to anyone. So I was kind of like a little bit anti-authoritarian, but I didn't pay attention to actual politics like most people on what's going on. And then COVID happened, as you know, and like it just I learned like the local people are my true enemy and they're closest to me, and I need to fight them. And so slowly, just as things built on Twitter too and all that, then like I was just like, I got to go do something because I can. I have the kind of lifestyle where I can and I can go, do this stuff. So, but COVID really was like, oh, COVID's what did it for me. Like, I was just like, I mean, we all met, silver lining, but wow, that was terrible. It was
How bad
terrible.
was it? How bad did they go in Colorado? What were some of the things they did there?
They did. They did like a lot of businesses had to, obviously the masks to open back up, but eventually, like there was a thing where, he always
Oh, yeah.
gets me.
The
I
yoga
get so mad
instructor. Yeah. Please
that I have
tell
this
this story.
story.
Yes.
Oh, so I used to go to hot yoga like 5 days a week. I did a trade with the company, and so I went a lot, but I paid some money and stuff. So then once it happened, I was like, well, once it was fully shut down, I hired this girl who I liked as a teacher. I hired her to come like work out at my home, and she was like, didn't really believe all this stuff. Didn't thought it was weird because you would think yoga people would be like, yeah, we keep ourselves healthy. That's the whole point. Like, we're more natural. Well, no, of course, all these white boulder yoga people and all over fell for it. So eventually she went back to work when it opened up and eventually was doing like vaccine only classes. And like my heart is still broken because it was just, I don't understand how people could do that. And like she would even talk to me and like still it was just that social thing that like took it. So there's things like that. They did have like vaccine requirements for, I remember when Jordan Peterson came through, like that venue had a you had to be vaxxed to go see Jordan Peterson. I think it was
Huh.
like 2021, maybe 2023. Well, 2022 probably. So there's that. The gay clubs discriminated against me that I'd gone to for like a decade. So and then
Mm.
so there was a state thing, and then eventually the fake libertarian governor was like, oh, it should be just decided by the the county health departments, which it already was. Basically, the state wasn't doing like a whole lot, but there was that. The whole like you would wear a mask to go to the bathroom. You could go to the restaurant, but you could take it off while you were sitting down. It was just all this stuff
Mm.
like that. So it wasn't the worst, you could still travel. I know like they didn't shut down our state lines like they did in
Mm.
Australia, but
Mm.
but it was just enough to wake me up and make me mad and see all these very unqualified people that are in charge making decisions for healthy people, which was wild to me.
Yeah, at least you didn't have the quarantine camps that we did, or not being able to travel in your own country for 2.5 years. That's what happened to me in Western Australia. But I'm still surprised that it didn't wake enough people up. Like at our last election in Australia last weekend, the Labor Party, which is your Democrats, got voted back in with a little bit of an increased majority. And you're just looking at these people going, it's communism. And the Labor Party in their doctrine says they identify as socialists, so they push socialist policies. It's all the same kind of commie crap. But they got voted back in. And you're just sitting there going, well, I'm glad I wasn't there because one, they would have forced me to vote, and there was not one person I would have voted for because we have mandatory voting in Australia. And secondly, well, this is democracy. You get what the majority of people want, and if you're so against it, well, what can you do? You try and live your life outside the system or escape it, like I have to Texas. But it just seems like the net is tightening on us, and it takes balls and courage to push back in different ways, which you have been doing so inspirationally, I must say, especially on X. Oh, and an Aussie Peg's Place is in the chat. He said, did you see around 4 million people didn't vote, even though we have to vote? So that just shows how disenfranchised people are with politics. What are you thinking?
You have 1 day to vote in Australia too, right? It's like a 1 day thing.
1 day, but there's pre-poll, so I think that goes for about 2 weeks. So if you're busy on election day, you can vote beforehand. But yeah, what do you think about how federal politics is going here in the US? I know you're more focused on local issues, but President Donald Trumpy, what do you think of how he's going? You got any thoughts? Are you happy or angry or what? I mean, we got Ross free. That's what everyone keeps saying. Ross Ulbricht was freed, which was one thing.
And he has at least said out loud, like, to Ukraine and all, like, that stuff I liked when, like, him and JD Vance were, like, kind of bullying Zelensky. Like, that I liked. But, like, the tariff stuff, I don't understand it enough, but I know, like, that I'm sure it's hurting some people in some way, but it's, like, every tax does, every fee does, every time. And it's, like, if he's doing it for whatever reason, I don't know. But this time around, I'm not. So he was president when COVID hit. And I remember hating him at that time, too, because it was like, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you fire Fauci and all this? So it's like, and it's always just felt like he's in the club to some extent, but just like so it's, I could never like get on. But I've been entertained. Like, I voted for him. Like, I've been entertained. I've been entertained the whole time with it, and like that's how I see it. I guess it's just he pisses people off, which is just hilarious. So it's just from the dumbest, like when he said he was going to run a third term or whatever, and all these people just like that's so funny to me. That stuff is just. Yeah,
and I know the picture of him as the Pope, and everyone got outraged, and he just thought it was the funniest thing ever. And he made a joke like, "Oh, I thought it was cute. My wife thought it was cute. I wouldn't be able to be married if I was the Pope, so I don't think I will be." He's just a total fucking troll.
Yes, exactly. That's the funny part.
What about, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this subject, but I feel that we have to because we've both been involved in the Libertarian Party in some form over our lives. How's things going up there in Colorado with the Libertarian Party? I see that there's stuff going on, fighting, just so much fighting between the different states here. But are you still involved with the party in Colorado?
I haven't been lately, like nothing against them, but I just like because I do what I do. There was like some weird stuff that happened last summer where I was just like, I don't want to put my time in the bureaucratic aspect of it, right? Like I just liked it when I would go and like because each county I felt like would have a meetup and we could talk politics and have a meetup and drink and all that kind of stuff. So I liked that, but there was stuff that I was just like, I can't deal with this. This is such a time suck as far as like the bureaucratic stuff. And then like what people care about and blah, blah, blah. Because they were going to try and put RFK on as a
That's
libertarian.
right. In
Yeah.
Colorado, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just going to be like something to try because that's everything is out here. Is we're all just trying stuff, right? But people lost their mind and on both sides, and it's just like I can't. My brain, I can't. Like I don't even follow it on Twitter when it's national. It's funny. The more in Colorado politics I am with like actual legislatures and stuff, like I really don't see much of um the like LP stuff. So I don't know because I know someone else is in charge in national now, and he said like something with the chair said something out here. Like it's so there's just, I'm like I don't have room in my brain for all of this stuff. So, but like if they have fun meetups, whatever, I'll go. And I just can't. I just do what I do, and I meet so many random people doing so much random stuff, and they're in my neighborhood, and we're not having to like pump anybody up in a weird way, I guess, or things like that, where it's just like we're just doing what we're doing and we hang out. So there's nothing wrong with it necessarily. I just am not really involved.
Yeah, I find that as an individual, you can achieve so much more if you're motivated, if you're smart, and if you're committed than being involved in minor party politics because yeah, like you said, it just takes up so much time and energy. And then you sit back and think, what have we actually achieved?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing like then I always say like people do things and parties take credit for it. So you can either just
Mm.
do things or like and just do things. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do things, and it's not even for my own satisfaction. It's just because I can and should.
Yeah. So now that the legislature's not sitting till next year, what fights have you got on your hands up there? And when can I come up and help you? What do you need me for? Anything to do with guns, I'm there.
Okay, yeah. Which well, I'm sure next year we'll get some more gun bills. You can come up,
Mm.
but in the meantime, we got my county government. They're constantly trying to tax us. They have. I don't know if anybody's seen Brittany Pedersen. She's a U.S. rep where I live, and she's been the one who's kept bringing her baby to Congress. If this sounds familiar,
Yeah.
and it's just like she has a husband. She has another child. The baby's on formula. They have a house in DC. Like, what? Like, what a weird psyop. But, anyways, her husband is like part of this. He was part of the whole reason Colorado turned blue to the progressive crazy blue. Like, he's part of this thing called the blueprint and all this like operative stuff. So he tricked my county voters into giving up like a tax refund you got. Like, how do you trick people? Like, he got paid big money too. Like, these people are rich.
Mm.
Him and her, they're like very wealthy, and they both make a ton of money off of politics. So that's always an ongoing fight at the county and the progressives that are running the county. Usually, there is going to be so this year there's another election in Arvada for another at large in the two other districts. So I might get involved. Not so I won't run, but I'll probably get involved with that to some extent. Figure out someone to push, and then I have another friend who's running for city council up in Greeley. So I'll help. I want to help him because I really think he should run. So I'm just going to help some people with their campaigns this year and just drink a lot.
Go to concerts. I've been dying
Yeah.
to ask you. You went to the Creed concert last
Oh
year.
yeah.
How was that?
It was so good. So I went to Green Bay. My parents live up there and my friends live nearby. So we went to that one. It was so fun. It was their first one of that like comeback tour or whatever. But it was just like it was just that nostalgia, silly. Like I think everybody there was just like on the same level of like, yeah, it's Creed, man. But we're here and we're just like it was good. Like they actually were good. Like they're still as good as they were, right? And yeah, it was fun. I have like videos, everyone singing in the whole arena, and it was great.
Yeah, American concerts are something else. Like when I saw Post Malone and Jelly Roll, I think his name is. I hadn't
Mm,
seen him before until the other night. And it's just, yeah, everyone, it's next level in the stadium and there's all these fireworks going off. In Australia, that would be a
yeah.
huge production and the ticket would be like $200. I paid like $50 for a seat in the bleachers, not in the nosebleed, but in a good enough spot. And it was just like, this is incredible. I'm so glad to be in America because everything is bigger and better over here.
Yeah, that's good. I've seen Post Malone before too, like in 2019, and it was so fun. So I'm sure that was a great concert.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He seems like a nice guy as well. I think that also adds to it. We have some fans in the chat, Forest Mummy. Let's say thank you, Mr. Terminator Mummy, for being the kind of person that is cool with Terminator Mummy doing what she does. Mr. Forest Mummy, how's he going? I got to meet him too. He's a bloody legend.
He's good. He's so busy lately, and like he does construction, and he's getting older. I'm like, slow, you gotta slow down. But then also, I'm like, well, I don't have to work yet.
God,
Okay, we'll
yeah.
like keep it going. Yeah, but no,
Well,
he's busy. He's good. He's good.
well, you're doing the Lord's work. You're doing work on behalf of the people who don't know how to fight for liberty. You're just getting out there and doing it every day. That's why I'm so glad to call you one of my friends because you're a bloody
Aww.
legend.
Thanks.
Now, is there anything else you wanted to talk about tonight? Because we haven't caught up since I came back. I have to say, I'm loving being in the USA. It's so, I know a lot of people are not happy and they're getting angry about things going on in politics here, but you guys just have this whole culture of liberty that even the commies, like, you can't deny it's part of your culture. I mean, I've got the two-way flag behind me. I love the fact that your country is built on those kind of principles. So I'm just loving the fact that I'm in the USA and I appreciate it every day.
I love it too because I've loved it. I saw the journey of it like before when you were like, oh, I want to go to the US so bad, blah, blah. And then like you couldn't travel during COVID. And then meeting you last year with this guy you found and now you're married.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. Like, it's just been fun. It's
Well,
great.
you were the first person I told that we were getting married too, because we had this whirlwind romance, and then suddenly we're in Colorado rocking up at your house at some time at
I think
night.
I said, I was like, do you guys want to share a bed? I don't know what's going on. You're like, yeah, we're going to get married. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool. You can sleep in that room.
Yeah. And then we ran off to Vegas and got married after hanging out with you guys. It was just, yeah, you're such an important part of my story. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Aw.
I'm fangirling. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's Mother's Day and this is Forest Mummy. Of course, I'm going to get emotional.
Yeah, no,
But
I
yeah.
love. Well, we could get if we could get a million people like you to come to America, it would be great, right? But we get the people who are just I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Well, there's
Yeah.
lots of Californians apparently moving to Texas, which is why they think the culture is changing here. So it's funny how people leave a place because they're not happy with it, but then they start introducing the very things that they don't realize actually cause the problem in their new home and make a problem for everyone else. It's
Yeah.
like,
Or just like the not paying attention, because even my family, they still live here part time, but where they move, they're not paying attention and they complain. I'm like, well, that's what happens. I know it's South Carolina, or Wisconsin. So their summer home is in Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin, the same things happen, which of Wisconsin of all places. Which if once you start to learn about Wisconsin, you'll like think this is nuts because there's like this deep backwoods, not northwoods. It's not very populated, and the progressives took over by taking over the college towns and like slowly taking over the state government. And so like it's even happening in Wisconsin. And it's like, well, like I said, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna fight it here because it's I'm strongest here, and it's gonna happen everywhere. So gotta fight it.
so were you actually born in Colorado?
No, so I was born in Chicago and I lived there for six
Oh,
years so I moved here when I was 6 to the Forest House. So thank God I got to grow up out here when I was like that
yeah.
little. So I'm not a Colorado native, but I call myself like a graduated native just because been here before it like blew up and before it turned progressive too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And how's Denver going? Last time I was there, I had such a good time going out in Denver. Is it still fun or is that being ruined too? They're
Well, because
ruining
it's
everything.
yeah, because it's a really Democrat controlled city, and they have they like there's a really bad NGO homeless problem where they basically like are farming homeless people on the street. So that's crazy because they get funding for it. They like keep them addicted with harm reduction. Um, so it's not the safest, and it's not as safe as it used to be. But also, it's like there's more people down there. I don't. I only go down there to like that one building you went to where we had that thing called Liberty on the
Mm.
Rocks. There's like so many events at that building, so I go there, and then I go to the Capitol every now and then to a bar maybe, but yeah, not much. I go down to the Coors Field. I go to the Rockies games. I'm a Rockies fan, even though they suck. Like everyone says they're terrible, and I'm like, I know, but I'm a Rockies fan, so I like going out to the Rockies games.
Is that where you went this week? I saw a picture of you.
Hmm.
Was that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a fun stadium because you can pay the cheapest ticket on the day of, depending on who's playing. But they're playing like a team no one really cares about either. That's also terrible. So the tickets are technically $4, but then they have these two whole levels on the right side that are just bar. It's like just bar standing room only. You can watch the game, so you just like go hang out up there the whole time. I'm like, that's the fun. It's like I saw someone made a comment on one of the Rockies posts that was like, that's the most expensive. Or it's like it's a bar basically with a baseball game going on. I'm like, yeah, that's what it's like. It's really fun, but it's a pretty stadium. So yeah, that's where I was at. I was at a doubleheader and they lost both times.
Aw, I can't believe $4 for a ticket to a baseball game. So the equivalent in Australia would be the cricket. And I've been to the baseball and the cricket, and it's so similar because I feel like you can be at the bar having drinks with friends and you don't really miss much, or you can come back, get
Yeah.
involved, and then go have it. That's what cricket's like too. So if you ever go to Australia or England, definitely go to a cricket game because it's
Yeah, I love it.
a
Sometimes I
good
like
time.
won't even watch the game what. Like I
Yeah.
won't even ever even like watch it. But I'm like having a great time.
Yes, I have been at Adelaide Oval in South Australia at the cricket with my dad, and he's a member of Adelaide Oval, so it's very posh. But I've been out the back drinking in like the market they have set up, and I've missed the whole bloody game. But I've had such a good day, so it's fine. So if you ever come to Australia, I'll take you to the cricket.
All right. Yeah, and same if when you come up here, well, if you come up like anytime during the baseball season, we'll do a baseball game too.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
Do you come down to Texas much?
I've been to Austin probably 3 times, and I was at the Libertarian Texas convention last year. I mean, I haven't planned on it, but I do have friends down there and whatnot. So especially the Austin area. So I should make a trip down there. Now I got another reason to come down. So
Yes, please do. And didn't you go to Vegas recently as well? Did I see on your
yeah.
Yeah. I
I
love
hadn't been,
Vegas.
and I hadn't been since 2019. Like, so I hadn't been in forever, and I was like, "Yay!" And like, it's changed a little bit where we like, I'm not gonna stay at the MGM ever again, but like, it was fun. I got to meet some people that run a different show that I watch all the time, and they were in town, so I met up with some of them. They were all going to WrestleMania, which I think is hilarious. So that's some like I don't know if Australia had wrestling like this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
see, like
Yeah.
I never grew up with it because my parents weren't into it, and like now I have all these adult friends who still love it, like still love it, and I think it's so cute and like, so I like to like I was like learning about that. We were gonna maybe go, but we didn't end up going to that because I was sick all day the next day. But I had a great time the first night, so it was a great time.
Vegas is so expensive. That's the only place in
Mhm.
America where the alcohol was just expensive as it is back in Australia. And it hasn't. I've been there a few times over the years, but the last time I was there last year, which was for Freedom Fest and to get married, it was just wild how much more expensive it has gotten. And there's all this talk about Vegas won't survive, blah blah blah, and it's like I love Vegas. I don't want it not to survive because it's the best party town in the world, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's so fun. And they were saying it's so dead and stuff. And I'm like, well, they weren't giving any like great deals on
Yeah.
anything. So it's like that didn't matter.
Well, everyone can't afford to give deals anymore because everyone's poor. So
Mm.
that is life. Now, let me have a look through the chat. Oh, we've got more Aussies tuning in. Hello, ladies from country Victoria, Australia. This Hog Dog 970 Denver is fun, but wear a level
Yeah.
4 plate. What's a level 4 plate? I don't know what that is.
Like the armor, you know, like when you put it in your kit, the
We're
plates.
not allowed to have those in Australia. They're banned for
Yeah.
civilian. We can't have
New
any.
York too. I think New York banned them, but yeah, of
Ooh.
course they would be banned there. Should the people be able to protect themselves?
Yeah.
That would be no, we don't do that.
Yeah. That's Australia too. Do you know, Forest Mummy, I haven't even bought a gun yet. I'm just kind
Oh.
of I know what I want and I'm gonna go out and get it, but I'm also looking at the laws here. But apparently I can buy person to person without a driver's license because I've only got my Aussie one. So I'm still looking into getting a gun. Do you have one up in Colorado? You probably don't because otherwise you would have let me shoot it.
Because Mr. Forrest Mama used to be a police officer, so there was a lot of guns. There's a lot of guns in the house. I usually have one with me if I drive around. So yeah, that's the one I like when I'm at the Forest house right now, and I always have a Glock 27, which is a 40 cal. I always have that.
Wow, you're packing.
I know, well, like for bears or people,
Oh,
like
for
because there are bears
bear.
here, so just
For
in case,
bears. Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah,
So.
that's still so wild that you can even have a firearm on you for self-protection. That's something we are
Well,
not
I'm
allowed to
not
have.
supposed to like all the time. Like I don't check like whatever they could come, they could try and come after me. It never have, but I'm like my right to
Mm.
self defense is my right to carry when I want to carry. I'm not. I don't care. I don't say don't care all the time, but I just don't always feel comfortable. You're not always at the right places, right? But other than that, it's like yeah, you can just. Yeah, I'm just gonna not comply with a lot of that because it's stupid.
Yeah. No, it's such and that was actually another reason why I wanted to get out of Australia is because of our self-defense laws. Like you can't use lethal or non-lethal means to defend yourself. And I've been in situations where I've had my gun in the house, I know how to use it. I've been under attack by someone that's broken in. And if I had defended myself, I would be the one charged and going to jail for using force to defend myself. And I cannot live in a country that treats me and ignores my God-given rights. It just got to the point where I couldn't stay in a society that doesn't value something I think everyone should have the right to have.
Yeah, they understand it. They understand the right to self defense because of their like they don't want to get killed by a shooter, but you're like, yeah, and that's why you need to defend
Yeah.
yourself. So it's so bizarre when people because even when you're a baby, like you're gonna put your hands up to protect yourself. You know what I mean? So I don't get well, obviously it's they want to disarm people so they can genocide who they want to genocide.
Mm.
Yeah.
Basically. Well,
Yeah.
they want us to be weak and reliant on someone else, e.g. the police, to save us when it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's what we're told in Australia. If you're under duress, call the police. And it's like that is not a solution. That's yeah, just
Yeah.
insane. Yes. Okay. Well, we've been going for an hour. Is there anything else you would like to chat about with me, Forest Money? I've kind of gone through all my points I wanted to ask you about.
No, but we'll have to get together on the side and get some dates planned. Good
Yes,
luck.
yes, yes. I need to see you. I've been dying. I haven't had time to see anyone. I've just been working this whole time.
Yeah.
But I might be going
Have
to,
to get like settled in. You're getting settled
yeah,
in and yeah.
I might be going up to Pork Fest in New Hampshire next month. Have you been to that before?
I haven't been to that. Sounds like fun. Seems like fun whenever people talk about it. So
It's such a good time and it's just good people and yeah, highly recommend it. So I might be heading up to that with Blood of Tyrants. Just depends on everything else we've got going on. But we'll have to have a reunion. I cannot wait to see you.
you too, it'll be great.
And come up to Colorado or come down to Austin, party in Austin with me, please.
I will. Yeah, I need to come down there. It's been a while. It's been a long time, so
Okay, well we'll wrap up now because it is Mother's Day and You've got your mum and I've got my mum. I might call my mum again. I'm missing her so much today. But
Aw.
thank you, Forest Mummy, for joining me for my Shooting the Breeze with Lady Liberty show. I'm sure you'll be back on again. We'll have to do one in person. We are so much more fun in person, I think.
Yeah, we had a good time.
That was one of the best days of my life. Even though the next day driving, I was not feeling very good all day, and I couldn't drive the car at all. So poor Mr. Liberty had to take one for the team. But it was definitely worth it. And you made that was one of the highlights of my trip, was finally meeting you in person. And now we're in the same country, so we can chat anytime and we can catch up and do some liberty fighting together, because that's what we're about. We get out and do stuff in our community. So please follow Forest Mummy. If you're from Australia, you haven't seen her before, please give her a follow. She's a good laugh on Twitter. She calls it how she is. I love it how you just call people like, look at these ugly commies. You just call it how it is. I'm like, I wish I had the balls just to be like that.
Well, if you were like trying to maybe build a resume or, like, I just don't care anymore. I'm not like, I just don't care.
Well, that's the other thing. I need to protect my visa, so I have to be careful.
Yeah.
I can't be as... But I have the First Amendment, so I don't know. Maybe I can say whatever I want. That's the whole point, right?
Right. That's why you came here.
Yeah, for your God-given right. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining me, Forest Mummy. Just hang on the line and we'll catch up after. But yes, if you haven't seen me before, I am Kate Fantinel, Lady Liberty Australia. My show is Shooting the Breeze. I am here in San Antonio, Texas. I have moved over here from Australia. I'm a gun rights activist, so I'm here to make sure USA does not go down the road of Australia, and I'm still doing what I can back home for the fight in WA against their bloody gun laws. I've got a meeting with my lawyers today, so I need to get off to get ready for that. The fight never ends, and I'm just so glad to be here. And the Forest Mummy, thank you for being one of my inspirations. I don't think you know how much of an influence you've had on me, but I'm just so grateful to have you in my life. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Good to catch up.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. See you next week.